Welcome to the third lesson in synthesis and synthesizers. We learned all about the oscillators, we learned some basic concepts, but now we are ready to learn about the filters. So, why do we need filters? So, when we're creating our sounds, the oscillator will create all range of frequencies, and in order for us to have whatever sound we like, we might want to cut off, just remove some of the frequencies. Maybe we want to boost some of the other frequencies. But overall, that's a kind of a tool that allows us to shape the sound. So let's just jump right in. So if I have my basic sound here and I'm using Synth Master again, because it's really simple and easy to understand, but I'll show you the same concepts in other synths. So if I'm just having my init preset here, nothing special, have a look at the frequency analyzer here. So I have a lot of frequencies all over the place. Now, watch what happens if I just engage the filter. So we have two filters here, and I'm just going to engage filter 1. And this is a low pass. What it means is that it's going to allow the low frequencies to pass, but it's going to just remove some of the highs. The cutoff point is the point that is the split point, right? So whatever is to the right of the cutoff point, that's going to be removed with the low pass. And right now, if you look at the upper panel there, you'll see the exact frequency. And so let's play and see what the filter does. Right, so it does exactly what we've expected. It just removes some of the frequencies. Now, let's explore what other types of filters we might find in synthesizers. So this is a low pass. The opposite of that would be a high pass. So that's exactly the opposite. And it means that we are letting the high frequencies pass, but removing the low frequencies. So let's have a look at that. Cool. So in effect, it's really the opposite. But now let's go back to our low pass. And before we're just continuing our journey with filters, let's understand the slope. So you see that we are not cutting the frequencies at the cutoff point immediately and in a certain, just removing everything on one shot. We have some kind of a slope here. And that slope is defined in terms of how many dBs per octave. And I'm not going any deeper than that. So the more dB per octave we have, the sharper the slope is. And right now it means that, yes, our cutoff point is whatever it is, and we will still let some of the frequencies on the right, that we might expect them to be removed. We still have some frequencies going through. It's not just, black and white here. It's not like we're cutting things right at the spot. So if we look at let's take digital filter, we'll see that we have choices here. We have 12 dB per octave and we have 24 dB per octave. It just means that it's going to attenuate the frequencies much faster and sharper. Okay, so that's a concept you need to understand. Now, if we have a look at pigments, for example, and let's just take whatever we have here. Now, that's not good. Let's just go with the analog engine here and select just a basic sawtooth. And I'd better go with the template here just for this demonstration, default. Okay, so right now we have oscillator 1 engaged here, and it goes just directly to our filter, to filter 1. And we have filter 1, we have just a low pass filter. But look at the choices I have. I have low pass with 6 dB per octave, which is very gentle. And we have 12, 24, 36, and so on. And the same goes for the high pass. But we also have other types of filters. So if we go to the choices here, we also have notch filters, for example, or band pass. So what is a band pass? What is a notch? Band pass means that we are allowing, and let me select something else. We are allowing the frequencies between those points here. So you can see that I have some kind of a band that I'm allowing for the frequencies to pass. Pretty simple. So it allows only the middle part to go through. Now the opposite of that is a notch. So I'm allowing the highs and the highs and the lows, but I somewhere in the middle, I'm just cutting the frequencies off. And you can see it here in the analyzer. So some of these types of filters are really useful when you're automating things, and I'll show you that. So for example, if I take the notch here and we play with the cutoff point, so I can take an envelope, or I can take an LFO and automate that. So let's have a look at the LFO. So I'm just going to engage LFO here, and you already see it moving. Cool. So next, let's explore the resonance point. So what is resonance and why do we need it? Let's go back to our multi-mode and select a low pass filter, and we see a resonance button here. And for sure, we can see that we have the same idea here in SynthMaster 2. We have resonance. So what is a resonance? Resonance is just, in practical terms, we're boosting some of the frequencies just around the cutoff point. So in effect, we're just, having a bump here. If we just take a look at the analyzer again, let's see what that really means. So it's probably somewhere here. Have a look. And again, this is really useful when we are automating things. So going back to pigments, if we again play with the cutoff point and have some resonance, you'll see the effect immediately. And again, I can have, an LFO, just automating that. And I can also automate the actual resonance itself. So I can click here, and you can see it going up and down. So that's the basic idea. Now, next, let's go back to our beloved SynthMaster and try to understand what else can we do. So once we have our filter set here, and we know that we can automate the cutoff with some LFO, but we can also do something else. So many synthesizers also have an envelope coupled with the filter. And why is that? Because the envelope will allow us to automate and shape the way the filter is just behaving in terms of the cutoff point most of the time. So right now the cutoff is just, where it is. And I can have an envelope assigned to that cutoff point. So let's see that. I'm going to select ADSR2, drag and drop it on the cutoff button here. And now let's see what that means. So right now, nothing special. But if I'll take the attack time, really push it to the right here, you can see the analyzer just opening up here. So that's the idea. I can use the tool, this envelope, to shape the way the cutoff point is behaving. And you can see that right now the cutoff and the green arc here is going to the right. So that's my cutoff point. But then when I'm engaging, when I'm playing, then the filter will open up to the right. But what would happen if I go to the other way? So I'm in effect closing the filter. And I can set the attack time to be something else. And I can have more release. And we can go even back to ADSR1, which is actually controlling our voice here, and have a little bit of release. And we can set the decay and sustain. Let's see the same idea with, completely different approach. We have profit. So profit is a more, it's a simple, it's a kind of synthesizer from the past. So what we have here is just one filter. This is the filter that we have, and let's let's hear it out. So right now that's just the basic stuff. And when I'm playing with the cutoff, you can immediately see that all I have is just a cutoff point here, which means that we have a low pass filter. And I can have a resonance point here. And I have an envelope. So I can actually, let's first shape the overall release of this sound. And let's have our envelope here. So I can have the envelope set, and what we need to do is make sure we're engaging the envelope amount here. And we can see in the analyzer that we're just opening up and closing back. So that's the idea. Let's have a look at some other types of filters. So again in Pigments we can see all kinds of filters. Let's see what we've got here. So we have some filters taking from other types of synthesizers like SAM, Matrix 12, Mini, which is the Mini Moog. So watch out for the resonance. And let's get rid of those LFOs. And we can have the volume set here. So this is nice. Now, we also have some other types like comb filters. So comb filters are used in flangers, for example. And we have a feedback and feed forward. See the shapes here. Again, I'm not going very deep how it is actually implemented and so on. So you can, try it out and see, what works for you. And we also have a phaser with some poles here, so we can set it for up to 12 poles. And again, automating the cutoff will give us different sounds. So we can have, for example, some kind of envelope. Let's take envelope 2. Go to envelopes, and we can set the attack. And we immediately see the representation here. So that's the idea. And we have also formant. So formant is really something that is very fun. So formant means the kind of frequency, I mean, simplistically saying, it's the kind of frequencies that are related to the human voice. And again, we can morph that. We can do like a I. Let's see. Let's have an LFO. So that's basically it. Let's have a look at some other, some of the other synthesizers. So in Massive, what we have is we have two filters here. We have filter 1, filter 2. We can just engage them here. Let's have just the basic new sound. That's a new sound. And let's have two oscillators. So one, let's have it like, I don't know, 1 octave down. And we can change the position here. That's a wavetable, so that's the position of the wavetable. And we can route any of these oscillators to either filter 1 or filter 2. So right now, we have nothing. So let's select a low pass and another low pass here. So you can see that this is a low pass 4, low pass 2, that's 24 dB per octave, that's more moderate, that's 12 dB per octave. And you can see that we have we have some serialization or parallelism here. Let's try and understand what that means. So some of the synthesizer will give you the option to route different oscillators to different filters, and then route these filters in different ways. So I think what will show us the best view of that will be, again, SynthMaster. Why? Have a look. So we have oscillator 1 and oscillator 2. Let's have oscillator 2, just something else. And we can also, let's tune it differently. Okay. Now, right now we have only filter 1. I can have filter 2 as well. But I can also have a parallel. What it means is the sound will be summed up here at that point then routed to filter 1 and filter 2 in parallel, and then summed up again before these effects. I can also have a split, which means that oscillator 1 will go to filter 1, oscillator 2 will go to filter 2, and then eventually they will be summed up. So I can have a different treatment for oscillator 2 and a different treatment for oscillator 1. So let's hear just oscillator 2 and just oscillator 1. And together. Okay, so that's the idea here. I think we covered pretty much everything that I wanted to cover, and that's the basic idea of filters. So there are some other details that you might want to learn, like, introducing some drive into the filters and playing with all these options like parallel, split, or series, and see what it does to the sound. And other than that, of course, we also have something, some related topic here, which is an EQ. So an EQ is kind of a filter, right? So if we have a look at the EQ, and in effect, it is something that shapes our sound. Let's have a look at that. Back to our layer, we have an EQ here, and let's go to the FX. Where is my EQ? That's my EQ. +2, layer 2. Here's the EQ. That's my EQ, and we have all the bands here, and I can shape the sound further, and I can boost or cut different frequencies in more precision. And that's pretty much it. So thank you very much. If you like this video, please click the like. And if you're not subscribed to my channel, please do subscribe. I'm trying to get more and more content, more and more videos uploaded every week. And you can also click the little bell there to get some notification whenever I'm uploading new stuff. And that's it. If you have any questions, leave some comments or get in touch with me on Facebook or here in YouTube. Thank you. See you soon. Bye-bye.